there are real issues that affect real people every single day, and he never addresses those issues. We don't even know what his plans of action are for matters that affect South Africans, especially the youth that is supposed to be the future of this country. Then you guys are going to come on here and say, oh, but he's a president, which means he's a busy man. That man had time to address the nation almost every single day during COVID-19. That man has time to perform in front of cameras for TikToks that are going to go on Atikelabe's page. That man has time to make TikToks with teenagers in high school, whether they're going, clock it. You want to tell me he doesn't have time to address the nation on things that are affecting us right now? Be for real. And then you're still going to call him Cupcake after all of that. It was funny at first, but now nothing is funny. Nothing is funny. That name has infantilized him. It made you guys infantilize him. You look at him and you see a baby. You don't see a president. Yes, he has a great personality, but personality is not going to run the country. Let's be for real. And just to add something, when the people were unhappy with the way former President Jacob Zuma was running the country, we caused a national shutdown. National shutdown. But President Cyril Ramaphosa has gotten away with so much. Yeah.
Welcome back to Gistline. Now, South Africans are becoming frustrated with their president's silence as more Israelis continue to pour into their country, busy acquiring large portions of land in the process. And a lot of people argue that this is not just an economic transaction, it is a subtle but dangerous shift that could compromise South Africa's sovereignty in the long run. Now, the public are questioning why their leader has remained passive, failing to address what many see as a pressing national issue. Well, let's listen to what others have to say about this, and I'll be right back.
Mr. President, GA is working with Ukraine, is working with Israel. They are in Cape Town. They are in Cape Town fighting for Cape Town independence. And you are quiet about it, Mr. President. No media briefing, nothing. You are quiet. You are the head of state. You are our father. They are taking over Cape Town and try to make it a country. And you are quiet. First, you allowed Orania to work. Second, they are taking Cape Town. Third, they are fighting for Western Cape, trying to make it a country. They are even saying they will not allow illegal foreigners enter that country, which is called Cape Town. They are even naming it Cape of Hope. So today we are illegal foreigner in Cape Town. That is a province, not a country. Mr. President, you are quiet. No media briefing, no statements, nothing. You are scaring us. You continue to show us who you truly are. A head of state, you will come in the media and say you didn't know what was happening in Cape Town. They've got Ukraine's flags. They've got Israel flags. No South African flags. People of South Africa, you are too relaxed. You are too relaxed. After they are done with Cape Town and Western Cape, they are coming for Joburg. They are coming for Durban. They are coming for KZN. And there's nothing we can do because our president is quiet. He's supporting them. His silence speaks volume. It's time we fight for our country. It's time we support the people of Cape Town. They are our people. It's time we support the people of Western Cape. Let us go out there and fight for our people. White people are united, calling each other white people. We are calling each other Muchangani, Muvenda, Mupedi. We are tribalism. We are fighting each other by using these tribes. We are South African. A war like this, we must stand up and fight. Our president is quiet. Our president, no media briefing. Our president he will come and say, I didn't know what was happening in Cape Town. That is so sad, Mr. President. You are like a as the head of state, as the father of South Africa. You are quiet. DA do what they want when they want. They are out of order and you failing to put them in their place. DA have opened a branch of South Africa in Australia, documenting these people and making them so that they can vote for them in 2026, 2029. You are quiet about it. You have done enough damage, Mr. President. You destroyed this country. The ANC government, you destroyed this country. May God help you.
Our president, he doesn't care, guys. He may fool you with the sweet video clips on the internet, laughing and interacting with people. That man is fucking evil. Now, going to the people of the Western Cape, especially in Cape Town, this thing that colored people or black people are different. I understand that we speak different languages, we have different cultures, but this is what the white supremacist government of the Western Cape has. They have weaponized our differences against us. Look at what they are doing now. They are helping European and Israeli settlers buy up land to displace more South Africans of color. You know what? Like, for me, it's giving, like, what has been happening in the Western Cape, in Cape Town specifically, is giving what has been happening in America between Hispanics and black people. Let me tell you why I'm saying that. The reason why I'm saying that, it's because of, I went to a fucking colored school in a colored community, Manenberg, in Cape Town, my high school, and I stay in Guguletu. And I think it's safe for me to say that there's no difference. The violence, the crime, the poverty, and the just in J, the lack of development because of our government, or most of our people voted for this government thinking that being fooled enough by white supremacists who do not give a fuck about any other race other than white people. They made you believe that they're going to change the province, they're going to help you and all of that, and you voted for them. Both black and colored communities voted for the DA, but now the DA is rounding up everyone. Guess who's gonna be more displaced once these people start buying up more land? Who lives closer to the CBD or to places which are potential, which would possibly be on the market for these settlers? And yet we're still out here acting as if we don't share struggles. They've weaponized that. They know that two communities that share the same struggles, if we divide them, then it's easy to manipulate them. It's easy to conquer them. It's easy to do as we please with them, because they've been using that in Cape Town for a very long time. And if you're from Cape Town, you know exactly what I'm talking about, especially if you're black. You know exactly what I mean. You know exactly what I mean, the notion that the other one is better than the other. Like, you know exactly. But like, when you look at the living conditions and how the cultures may be different, but when you look at how we live, the violence, the crime, the drugs and all of that, it's all the fucking same. It's all the same. Now they're allowing settlers to come in and buy up land. Once the Cape exit, if it happens, once they put it into motion and it happens, a whole lot of people are going to be displaced. Already people in Woodstock and places like Goodwood feel like they're being displaced, especially people who have been living in those communities, like who have like actual houses from those communities. They're starting with gentrification all of a sudden, and people are protesting about that. And the sooner we realize that we need to fucking come together, black or colored or even Indian for that matter, and come together, we're gonna wake up when it's a bit too late, because we are the fucking majority. especially in the Western Cape. But we just need to stop this bullshit of thinking that the other one is better than the other, because we're not. Our communities are pretty much the same. They are layered the same. They share the same fucking struggles. And they laugh at us when we think that we are enemies of each other or we are threats and all of that. We're not. We share struggles. And this is an opportunity, a unique opportunity for us to actually realize that we can actually build together. But no, the same thing that's happening in America. White supremacists they have clogged people of color a very long time ago. It's easy to divide them. They claim that they have this sense of community and all of that, but guys, I don't know. I just thought of that, and I really think this is a unique opportunity for the people of color in the Western Cape or South Africa to actually come together and realize that we are the majority.
We all know that land has always been one of South Africa's most sensitive topics. After centuries of dispossession during the colonialism and apartheid period, the promise of land reform was one of their main hope of the democratic era. Yet, decades later, millions of South Africans remain landless, while foreign nationals, especially Europeans and Israelis, are able to purchase prime properties and farmland with little resistance. And a lot of people argue that once foreigners gain control of key land resources, reclaiming them becomes almost impossible. Land ownership is permanent, and its transfer to non-citizens could also lead to long-term economic and cultural displacement of local communities. And a lot of South Africans, they fear that history is quietly repeating itself, only this time through economic transactions rather than overt conquest. Now, the silence of their president has fueled public anger. Citizens, they feel abandoned by a government that seems unwilling to address the concerns of its people, while allowing foreign interests to flourish unchecked. Critics also claim that this silence sends a dangerous message, and the message is that national assets can be sold off without public consultation, and that sovereignty can be compromised for short-term financial gain. Some analysts, they believe that the president's inaction stems from fear of scaring away investors, which might be right, but others argue that it reflects a deeper issue, that the government may be too dependent on foreign funding and partnerships to even risk confrontation. But this explanation has done little to calm public outrage. Many believe that the president's duty is first and foremost to his people, not to outside interests. What makes this issue even more contentious is a contrast in how South Africans treat different immigrant groups. When fellow Africans like Nigerians, Zimbabweans, Malawians, they came to South Africa or they come there, they are often met with hostility, sometimes even violent xenophobic attacks. These immigrants are accused of taking jobs, committing crimes, or overburdening the economy. Yet, when Europeans or Israelis enter the country and begin and started acquiring land, a far more serious issue in terms of long-term national implications, that is it. But the response is just muted, is far more muted. So they say that this is double standard, and it reflects a lingering colonial mindset where white or foreign investors are seen as legitimate participants in the economy, while African immigrants are treated as intruders. South Africans are calling for urgent action. They want transparency on how much land is being sold to foreigners, where these properties are located, and what limits this is going to be. Some are even calling for strict laws to prevent large-scale land acquisition by non-citizens. They are arguing that this is the only way to safeguard the future of the country, and the government also needs to address them immediately. Well, for me, the president's silence on foreign land acquisition is no longer just a political issue. It has become a matter of national identity, security, and pride. South Africans are demanding answers, action, and policies that can put citizens first, and that is why they want their president to come and address it. So without them, the country risks not only losing its land, but also repeating the mistakes of what happened in the past. So I think their president should just come and address them and let everybody be okay. Well, let me know what you think in the comment section, and please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Maturing is realizing that our president took this job for international trips and vibes. He is literally just setting his life up for after presidency for his family and for himself, of course. Because there's just no way. There's just no way, right? Because a man came on the internet and admitted to murdering his girlfriend. A mom just killed her son's friend. Our influencers are trafficking people to Russia. Our taxi drivers are bullying private car drivers. Have you seen the water lately? Have you seen what the water looks like? You can't even cook with it. You can't drink it. Like, have you seen what is going on with our water? Electricity units. Hey, guys, no, he took the job for international trips and vibes because that's what he enjoys. He took it for the international vibes, not for the domestic vibes. Not at all. Because what?
The DA literally supporting Israel. It's giving nostalgia, guys. It's giving the NP government looking back at the good old days, saying, oh, how I wish we were supported by America and Europe like Israel is. Oh, how I wish we could have just oppressed and keep on oppressing people.
Anti-corruption coalition that brought together not only Lord Peter Hain from the UK, a very ardent anti-corruption activist and fighting in South Africa's corner, but a lot of good people in the anti-corruption space gathering and talking about what can we do, what are we doing, how are we tackling this cancer, this scourge that holds us back as a nation. And while we all sort of acknowledge and understand, and I think Shamila Batoya has said it as well, we're never going to prosecute our way out of this problem. We have to think far larger than that. I mean, obviously the silver bullet is an electoral one because you need a mindset change at the top when it comes to tackling corruption. And that's not happening under our current president, Cyril Ramaphosa. But what is happening, though, is the interactions that various entities are having with good people below the radar, below the senior levels where the lack of will happens to tackle corruption, is producing meaningful action, meaningful progress. And we see that. We had a good meeting this week with Shamila Batoya and her team just to look at the advancement of some of our cases. And while she explains and understands to us a lot of the challenges that are happening, and there are challenges. There are challenges of systems. There are challenges of people still inside the system that are barriers to the fights. There's a capacity challenge, systems and expertise challenges. Those aren't excuses, though. And there's a journey that has to be taken to rectify this. So we're upbeat about that. We're also upbeat about the fact that things are happening in the CETAs. Today, we had a protest, or this week, and we highlighted to the services CETA about the frustrating corruption levels that we've seen inside the services CETA. And what was quite encouraging for us is the staff inside the building at services CETA was celebrating with us, was singing with our team. Now, protest is one of the elements that we use in our 5-step methodology to highlight the issues. ENCA was there, and we really did impress upon the public at large that there's a lot of work to be done. And we know this, but what is also encouraging is that we know the new administrator, recently appointed, because that CETA has been put under administration, is meaningfully going to start listening to the whistleblowers and dealing with the issues that have been happening there. Hopefully, and we'll fully bring you up to speed, that good things are going to start happening now as we keep the fire raging in the CETA space. Also mentioned we had a good meeting with BUSA, business leadership, lots of thinking around how do we change the scourge that and the networks of corruption that have infiltrated. I also stated that it's important that the minister contemplates putting the insurance seat under administration as well. There's many reasons that he should do that. Another matter quickly to talk about, we spoke about it last week, the SA tourism debacle that continues to unfold. Well, we hear and we hope that the board that Minister DeLille fired, we hope that they take her on in court. We believe that she's remiss. We believe that she's out of hand. There's a lot of overreach and abuse of her power, quite frankly. You will see a couple of opinion pieces out and a lot going on in that space. But really what we do need to do is defend our democracy against this type of abuse that is happening in government. Finally, I just want to end off by giving condolences to Tsidi Madia's family, friends, the Prime Media and 702 family, where, you know, her recent passing this week has hurt the nation, has hit us all hard. Tsidi was just incredible. She was a defender of democracy through ethical and morally courageous reporting, like we've not heard in a long time. Doesn't mean to say the other investigative and political journalists aren't at that level, but she is up there with the best we've had. Very courageous. She'll be sorely missed, and our heart goes out to the family. And we just need to remember, I think, reflect this whole weekend on what a champion for democracy she was. To all our supporters out there, thank you. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being part of this journey. We will fight for our democracy. We will continue to tackle and hold government to account for the waste of taxpayers' money. Enjoy the weekend. Cheers.
The ANC is the biggest embarrassment in terms of black African political leadership, perhaps ever. Okay, and I'm gonna break this down because it's something that has actually kind of like gone through my head quite a bit, especially after seeing Prince Mashele at SMWX. I think seeing Prince online there, it really kind of sparked something in me. But the ANC truly is perhaps the most embarrassing African leadership we've ever had, because let's take it back for a bit. Okay, so 1994 happens, apartheid ends. Okay, we usher in a new government. You know, so the ANC ushers in a new government. We become a democratic country. We are, things are moving. But the thing is, what they are inheriting is a state that was industrialized for the most part. I mean, we had over 700 state-owned enterprises from the apartheid government. In terms of African countries, the infrastructure, the structure of the country, the economic and political apparatus was like way ahead. Okay, for a very long time, South Africa has been like the most industrialized economy in the continent. Okay, and Africa's huge, and they inherited that, ran it into the ground. Like, that's the thing that gets to me. We have, not unlike other African countries, we didn't have to create a new electrical grid from the ground up. We didn't have to make a new sewer system, a countrywide sewer or water system from the ground up. We had such amazing potential and scaffolding to build a far better and bigger South Africa. Okay? But no, they ran it into the ground, and it's something that really is a massive, massive, massive embarrassing indictment on African leadership as well. Because if you look at the continent and you look at the history all the way from Northern Africa, the Sahel, and then Sub-Saharan Africa, you can, if you watch what happens in this country like me, on this continent like me, you know bad things are occurring. There's coups here. There are leaders who have been in power for decades, you know. President of Cameroon is barely in his country. The president of Togo is, again, like, there's so many hot spots within this continent where there's just poor leadership. And the countries were not able to rise because their foundations weren't really good. Then you have South Africa, which was amazing. I mean, there's a lot that we have to work with here. And why I feel like the ANC has really done us, not just South Africans, a massive disservice is because we were the chosen ones, man. I honestly believe that South Africa was the first country should have been the first country African country to be an advanced economy that could go toe-to-toe with the members of the G7. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And it's because of the ANC's embarrassing leadership. And what it's actually showing us and the world is that the African cannot govern. It's terrible. Okay, the same prince that I'm quoting in that SMWX episode is endorsing Helen Zille to be the new mayor of Johannesburg in the next year elections. Do you know how embarrassing that is as a black guy to have the black man mess up the country and they have to have the white lady to come in, fix everything? It's an indictment on us as a people and our leadership and our sense of ethics because, wow, the ANC has taken all competent black and brilliant black, excellent individuals across not just South Africa, the continent, and it's embarrassing, man. It's embarrassing on black leadership because it's showing all the horrible people at the Berlin Conference in the late 1890s, late 1800s, that the African cannot govern. We can govern, but it just is. We have a lot to look inside here in terms of who we are and how we run things because, wow, the ANC has really, really embarrassed us in terms of leadership, black leadership.
Many black South Africans have made the mistake of assuming that the DA is weak because when its deputy minister was fired after threatening to leave the GNU if he was fired, they assume that means the DA is weak because it did not leave. The DA wants you to focus on that. But the real issue is they don't care about the firing of ministers. They are looking at consolidation of power. That's all they're focused on. Consolidating enough votes that will give them more votes than the ANC so that in the next GNU, they will be the ones in control. And by default, they'll be controlling this country. I warned you about this on Penwell's show. Now, let me tell you a story that will make you understand what I'm talking about. When Jan van Riebeeck got to South Africa, they settled in the Cape. And then there was what was called the Great Trek of the Boers moving across the country, but they had not colonized the country. The real colonization of South Africa began when there was a rise of a young, strong man by the name of Ushaga. Ushaga took over by force a position to be king of the Zulu nation from a brother who was ordained to take over. When Shaka took over, he saw that the Portuguese and the Afrikaners had been coming into Zululand, into the clans of Zululand, taking women, taking cattle, and enslaving his people. In order to try and regrow the Zulu nation, he decided to take the same tactics that were being used by the Afrikaners and the Portuguese, and he started attacking his neighbors, taking their women, taking their cattle, and consolidating the Zulu nation. For those of you who will understand history, you'll understand that the Zulu nation only began to exist after a group of Nguni clans decided to come together because of these invasions by the Portuguese and Afrikaners to try and fight back. But they didn't create this clan just to fight back. They also created it to fight other Africans, to take their cows, take their women, and also to take their land, to consolidate the Zulu nation that began to take its cue from colonialism. It is then that Shaga went to attack his neighbors in what was called Mfekai. That you saw the division of Africans to a point where you saw certain African tribes joining the English when they wanted to colonize South Africa, fighting with the English against the Zulus and against other tribes to ensure the colonization of South Africa. We're at the same point now. While Ududula is taking failed women with no vision, to tell South Africans that Africans are your enemies. The same Africans who fought wars to liberate South Africa. The same Africans who will help you to fight. Because currently what the DA is doing is that they're consolidating white power. They are creating these Home Affairs offices in Australia, Canada, America, and Europe, where they are white people. They are going to give documents, IDs, and passports and citizenships to white people, including mercenaries. And these people will be funded to qualify for these citizenships until they've got enough people to outvote black people, or at least to outvote the ANC, like they've done in the Western Cape, like they've done in Cape Town, where colored, Indian, and white people outnumber the black people, so they've won there. They're going to do it in other places again in South Africa, where they just need enough white people to vote for the DA in a way that will have more than the ANC, or enough to create a coalition without the ANC. The other black parties will be paid to vote with the DA in creating coalitions. Some of the people that are being brought in and will be given these citizenships will be mercenaries, soldiers, people who are not only going to vote, but people that are going to join the private security companies. 54% of your private security companies in South Africa are from Western countries. The United States, ADT, Fidelity, and a number of others. The United Kingdom, G4S. These are not just private companies, these are not just security companies, they are military companies and mercenaries. Then you've also got Israeli companies owned by the Mossad. There is links between these security companies and the CIA, MI6, Mossad, and other Western intelligence organizations that want the Western Cape. And what they're doing is they're making you focus on African foreigners, the same ones who deploy their armies to beat the Boers for you to have independence. They want you to alienate African countries so that by the time that these whites that are coming into South Africa, plus their foreign security companies, which outnumber your police and military in terms of men and guns, eventually when they start attacking South Africa in order to take this little corner that they want, which is the Western Cape, so that they can put their military bases and the naval bases for the coming war in the future, you will not have anybody to fight on your side. Africa will forsake South Africa because of the xenophobia that is happening now. So this is why they've taken people who are failures, and they had to be women. Women don't go to war. Women are not soldiers. So that they will make you focus on hating your neighbor while forgetting about the military threat that is coming with the recruitment of mercenaries and foreigners who are going to consolidate into armies with your private armies to fight you and take away the Western Cape. Who do you think is paying Bozandile? Failures in life, don't have businesses, they don't work, people like Victoria, but they're telling you about what is your national security threat and you're listening. You're in trouble. Wake up or you will die.
Breaking news. Why South Africans are trying to split South Africa into two. We're not going to let that happen, okay? Black people own South Africa. No one, nothing like West Cape Town or nothing, okay? You are going to be together. We Nigerians will stand with South Africa. Nothing is going to happen. No one is going to split South Africa.
I'm very stressed by this situation. it's given me sleepless nights because our leaders, the political elite, committed this criminality of joining forces with the DA. It's a gross error, serious mistake. I think they will be judged harshly by history, and I call on history to judge them badly for the betrayal of our people. This is a betrayal, Sizwe. It cannot be entertained in any political decorations. It cannot be laced in any other form because there were other possibilities for the ANC not to collaborate with the DA, because the DA doesn't represent any iota of the interests of the majority of our people. It's a party of white interest, of the white minority. It has inherited the colonial regime's interest, the imperialist regime's interest, the apartheid regime's interest. It is not intended by any measure to bring our country together and to build a united South Africa.